Evsha Blues. Yeah, baby. Episode 100. We reached the promised land. To the promised land. Take him to the promised land. Oh, yes. To the promised land. We're taking him to the promised land. Oh, yes. What do you reckon? 3 months. 3 months practice on my trumpet. Kind of getting there. Still struggling with the high register. But, you know, it's a work in progress. Trying to get your chops, trying to get your embouchure back from, you know, as I said, I used to play in school days like 100 years ago. And I've picked this up 3 months. That's 3 months practice. Not bad. Anyway, I've learnt a lot in the 3 months because I've been studying trumpet online. And, you know, you can learn so much stuff online as compared to what I learned in school. I've learned so much. It's untrue, you know. These, for example, can you see these? These are trumpet mouthpieces. All right, I'm going to try and focus on them. Focus on them. Yeah, there you go. Can you see that? No, it's still focusing on me, isn't it? Trumpet mouthpieces. These things are absolutely crucial for you to get the sound that you need, to get the comfortability that you need, to be able to reach those notes. And all these are different, you know, different mouthpieces. It came with this one here, which is, I'll give you a little trumpet lesson here. Okay, this is a standard, what you call a 7C trumpet mouthpiece. This mouthpiece is what most trumpets come with. Still trying to focus on me. Most trumpets come with a 7C, and it has like a kind of general depth, size, throat. But if you've got kind of large lips like me, watch it. If you got kind of, then this ain't gonna work for you. So I was struggling with this 7C, and so I went online and came up with this one. You know, studying taught me a little bit, and this is a 3C, but it's a knockoff 3C. You have name brand 3Cs and you have knockoff, you know, trumpet mouthpiece. This is a knockoff one. So it's unbranded, but I don't know if you can see that. It says 3C on there. Yeah, I could go into what the numbers mean, but it's kind of deep. So, you know, you're just gonna have to bear with me. Yeah. And this is wider than the 7. The C is the depth of the cup, and all these things, they interact with the way the trumpet sounds. They help to determine. But this is a lot more comfortable than the 7C that I had. So this one was kind of working out fine for me. But what I was noticing, certain notes were not slotting in to where they need to slot in. And I didn't know if it was me or if it was the trumpet, because this trumpet's a bit beaten up, as you can see. Yeah, it's a bit beaten. So I didn't know if it was the trumpet or the mouthpiece. So, being a trial and error man, as I am, I decided to splash and get a proper mouthpiece, branded one. This is a Yamaha. Let's see if we can focus on that one. It's a Yamaha, yeah, and the size is 14 4B. You know, it is kind of, you know, it's really interesting going into all this kind of stuff, because, you know, as a man that's more into cameras and photography and videography, you know, it's the same kind of thing. It takes you a while to get into all the technicality and all the knowledge to know where it is you want to go. But this mouthpiece here is the one that I was just playing on, the Yamaha, and it's very comfortable, and it takes about a month or two for you to get really comfortable with it. Yeah. So, what's the best mouthpiece for playing trumpet. Yeah. What is the best mouthpiece? The mouthpiece is going to be different for every person because your dental, your mouth is different. Yeah. If you look, yeah, my teeth are a bit crooked. You know, I got kicked in the teeth when I was in school because I was a school goalie. Yeah. So my dental is a bit different to the next person. So obviously I can't recommend one mouthpiece, and no one can recommend one mouthpiece for everybody. You know, it would be crazy. So you have to go through trial and error, trying to work out which one is good for you, for your good fit for your dental, comfortable, one that you can, you know, change your embouchure on, and one that, you know, helps you to play your instrument and improve. So it's a bit of a safari. Same thing. What is the best lens for street photography? I hear it all the time. I see people making videos about it all the time. Some say, oh, it's got to be the 35. Some say, oh, it's got to be the 50. What was that? That was my blower escaping. Some say, you know, the super wide. I've got 28, the 28 equivalent. If I put this at 16, at 18, it's a 28 equivalent. Yeah. Some say the 85. What is it? What is the best focal range for street photography? And, well, as a man who loves my street photography, all of them, all of them are the best focal length for street photography. It depends on what it is you're going to do. It depends what sort of street photography you want to do. You might want to do all of them. Like me, I fall in love with all of these things, you know. Whatever is on my camera is the favorite for me. You know, I've got an 85 on here now. Yeah. This, you know, every time I come on, I say, this is my favorite lens. And then you'll see me next week with a different lens. And I'll say, this is my favorite lens. And this is the reason why. Because depending on, I mean, the focal length of the lens that you use determines the type of street photography you're going to do. If you're going to be shooting across the road or far away, the 85 is perfect, you know. The 85 will get you those shots. And I have a complete different strategy, a complete different strategy of how I shoot. With the 85, I'll tend to more look through the viewfinder. If I'm using super wide, then I tend to not really look through the viewfinder. I'm shooting from the hip. So it's all determined by your style of street photography, I would say, for me, because I can only speak for me because everybody's different, is determined by what I put on. If I put on this 50mm, then I can get kind of in between. Yeah, I tend to shoot wide open with the Plastic Fantastic 50mm 1.8. I tend to shoot wide open with the 35mm 2.0. Shoot at 2.0. With the 16 to 35, which is my favorite lens, I tend to shoot 5.6. Yeah. So I would say try them. Try out whatever you have. It doesn't. There is no specific lens, I would say, for street photography because everybody's different. What is the best team in the Premier League? Everybody's going to come out with a different answer. So because everybody is different. So this is it, you know. Which is the best trumpet to buy? Is it a Shilky? Is it a Yamaha? Is it a Monet? Yeah. Is it a Bach? Everybody's different. So really, we're asking a question, and people are always asking this question. Go out and try. Try. Use what you have. Some people like primes. Some people like zooms. Yeah. Some people like DSLRs. Some people like mirrorless. Yep. Yeah, careful. Mirrorless. It doesn't really matter. It's a question that people like to answer that hasn't got an answer. So go out. Doesn't matter what you use. Use your phone. Doesn't matter. Use film. Doesn't matter. Shoot black and white. Don't matter. Street photography is personal to you. So what's more important than what lens to use is when you go out, where you go, how you view, because street photography is really about your eye. It's not really about the camera. It's about what you see and how you see the world, how you view the world, what story it is you want to tell, what direction or what things that you're interested in. That is what street photography is about. It's not about the gear. Yeah. It's not about the shovel. These are just tools. So what lens is right for street photography? What eyes do you have? People say, oh, well, we see at 50 millimeters, or we see, I've heard people say we see at 75 millimeters. I reckon people see at different focal lengths. I don't think we're all the same. I'd be surprised if our eyes were all exactly the same. Yeah. Some people will hate the wide angle, the super wide angle. You know, this 10-18, I usually shoot it at 14 millimeters, which is about 20 mil full frame. I usually shoot it round about there. And sometimes I open it right up to 10, 10 mil. That's like 16. Some people hate that. You know, everybody's different. So find out your own fingerprint. And the only way you're going to find out your own fingerprint is by going out and trying all these lenses, you know, or look at what other people do. Some people wouldn't encourage this, but look at what the greats have done and kind of use that as a place to start. Don't just try and bite that style, but try and use that as a place to start and develop from there. A little bit of history of me, my street photography, how I started. I've been doing photography for years, but street photography per se is pretty recent for me. You know, the term street photography was not a term that I knew of. We'd go out and shoot when we was in school, when we was learning on our SLRs, but we didn't call it street photography. The term street photography became prominent with me after watching a BBC documentary about a photographer whose name is William Klein. That just blew my brain. So my style of street photography, that close up in your face kind of thing, is really based upon and based around what I saw on that documentary of William Klein. I love that style, that gritty reality, but that might not be your cup of tea. You know, I see people like the shadowy, you know, Fang Ho style. A lot of people like that style. Me, that doesn't really grab me. It does grab me, but it can't hold me, because after a while you're just looking at shadows and shapes. Not downing it, but if that's what you like, then that will determine what kind of camera, what kind of lens, what kind of view, and you know, how you go about your street photography. I like to be up in the mix, you know, up in the grill sort of thing. I like shooting when somebody's standing right next to me. That's the sort of thing that I like to do. But, you know, you go out and develop your style. Develop it based upon what you see, what story you want to tell, where you want to go, and share. Share, share, share. It is that. So get out on the street, stop watching this, get your camera, and let's go. Let's see some images. Yeah, baby. So, episode 100. Who would have thought we reached the promised land? You know, it's all good. Never thought we'd get this far, to be honest. But, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you start to go A and you end up going B. It's all good. I hope and pray that those of you who have been on the journey with me have learned something. Yeah. Share something in the comments and subscribe, you know, to add to our 13 subscribers. We should have about 100 by now, shouldn't we? Till next time. Zoom.